Okay, so I know what you're thinking. Damn, that title is brutal, but it's true. People 99 out of 100 times typically have enough time to do something that they want to do, which may even be spending time with you, but you're just not that high on their priority list. Trust me, I've been guilty of this many times. I have free time. Everybody's pretty much got free time. Now, the reason why I said 99 out of 100 people is, yeah, like 1 out of 100 people, they really are just so busy that they just have no time to do anything at all. And even when they do get some free time, they're probably just trying to recover because they're so overworked or super busy or some crazy stuff like that. But let's be honest, the average person, you and me, we've got free time. And I've been guilty of this more times than I can count, and you know damn well you have been too. There are just some people that you don't really feel like seeing as much as other people, and well, you don't really make the time to schedule it in with that person. Or at least you don't make a great effort. Like, you know, you kind of lazily do it. You're like, okay, yeah, sure, I got some time here and there, but you don't really care that much. You know, I'm talking about that. But that's simply just an order of priorities. Nothing really more than that. That's really what it boils down to. Now, obviously, there are other factors that affect how often you want to see certain people or how much you want to do a certain hobby or a thing or whatever it may be. But ultimately, it comes down to this internal priority list that we all have, and it's a list that you create consciously or unconsciously. Like I was saying earlier with making plans with other people, there are obviously some people that you care about so much and that you really like hanging out with, so you make a much greater effort to make plans with that person, and they're probably higher on that priority list than other things or people. And that's just the truth of it. And again, there's nothing wrong with this. It's actually really normal. But anyways, before I yap on any further about more examples, and again, this is probably going to be a pretty short video. It's not a really complicated concept. I think it's pretty straightforward. What the hell is even the purpose of me making this video? Why am I sitting down and I set up my lights and I'm doing all this recording right now? Well, I want to help you realize that sometimes people are just so busy that they can't catch their breath. And like I said, those 1 in 100 people who are insanely busy and they can't even make time to see you or anything like that, like those are rare, okay? Those don't actually happen as often as you think. But also at other times, people just have competing priorities. I don't want this to be like a brutal video, like nobody likes you and that's why nobody wants to hang out with you. No, that's not, I'm not trying to make you feel like shit. But as you get older, you just realize that, yeah, competing priorities are actually a big problem. This is something that I've been facing, especially in the last few months with everything going on in my life. When you were in high school, your biggest problem was making sure that you passed your math test tomorrow. So you had a lot of free time to think about other things and build friendships and do stupid shit, you know? It was easier to prioritize things back then because you just simply didn't have much competing for your attention and priorities. But as you get older and take on more priorities and get more responsibilities, well, shit, it's just really hard to manage this whole priority list and trying to do a good job of it too. I mean, you don't want people to feel bad, you know? Like, it's harder to prioritize this huge list of important things and people, and sometimes people do slip through the cracks of those priority lists and, well, you forget to reach out, you forget to message back even, or simple things like this. It's just one action that you forgot to take and now this person thinks that you hate them, and this can also be the other way around. Maybe you didn't get ghosted by that one friend. Maybe they just saw your message, were about to reply, but they had something going on at the same time, so they forgot. I see this a lot, and I do it too sometimes. And so sorry if you've reached out to me and I didn't respond. Maybe try messaging me again. I probably just forgot. I don't hate you. But as you guessed from this whole thing, as your priority list grows and you have more and more competing priorities, naturally, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices because you just can't do everything. Everybody has the same 24-hour day, no matter how important or successful you are, or how much free time you have or no free time, whatever. We all have the same 24 hours. And as you guessed, people slowly drop out of importance of your life, especially as those priorities grow. So to those who are in their mid to early 20s, you've probably seen this time and time again, and it's such a depressing problem for our generation, I guess, especially now with social media. But it's so goddamn hard to nurture your friendships and keep them in a good, healthy state. And this especially becomes true when you got a full-time job, you got a house to take care of, you got bills, chores, errands, groceries, so much shit on your plate all the goddamn time. And I swear, like 2-3 years ago, life was so easy, and I would only been like 22. I'm 25 now. But this list just goes on, and this list just goes on and on and on. But as you get older, this becomes way, way more important, where you set up your priority list in a way that helps you hang on to those great friendships. Because ultimately, the people you surround yourself with are the ones who are going to make you feel better or worse about yourself. You surround yourself with great people and you constantly nurture those friendships. You reach out to them, you hang out with them, do whatever you can, right? Those are the people that are only going to make your life better. It's a short life, and it's also a lonely one if you don't take the time to reach out to people. And I've already made a video about reaching out. I'm going to link down below. Great video, by the way, but I still think it's just so important, and especially in a video like this where it comes to priorities and prioritizing people specifically. Now, prioritizing people is great and all, but this can also be applied to things or hobbies, you know? Like, obviously, I think relationships are number one, and hobbies definitely do fall really closely behind there. I wouldn't even say one's better than the other. I think friendships and hobbies are extremely important. But I kind of want to just like give some examples of this, you know, because I feel like examples are just always great when it comes to a concept like this. And I'm not going to drag this video too long. You know, I just want to get the point across and give some examples, and hopefully there's a takeaway for you. Then what the hell am I even saying? This is why I usually script my videos more, because I just get lost. But I want to give you an example of me visiting my mom. So I moved out of my mom's house about 3 years ago, and ever since then, I have tried to make it an effort to see her at least a couple times a month. You know, I want to be a good son. And though it is kind of inconvenient to drive to my mom's house because she lives like half an hour away, I still make that effort because she's high on my priority list. If your own mom isn't higher on your priority list, you're a fool and a fraud. And no one told me that I have to visit my mom. You know, like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's almost kind of expected, but at the same time, it's something that I just care about. I mean, I choose to visit her even when I don't feel like it. Like yesterday, I was just really not in the mood, but I did it anyway, and I don't regret it. I never regret visiting my mom because I just know there's always some sort of value there, even if it kind of feels like a pain to go sometimes. But to me, my mom is a priority. And when something is a priority, you will make time for it. Because if you don't, well, it's not a priority then. And then I want to talk about video games. Okay, here's Evan talking about video games, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm going to keep it short. Video games are fun. Yes, I do play them from time to time. They are a great time. And when I got some free time, yeah, I'll probably bust out a couple hours of gaming. Like, why the hell not, right? However, if there is something more important on my priority list, well then, guess what? Video games are not gonna be the priority. I'm not gonna be playing them if I got like 10 other things on my to-do list today. And that happens. Sometimes I feel like playing a game, but I just got too much to do, so I don't. I've also mentioned this in lots of videos now, but when I was a kid, oh my god, I prioritized video games over everything. There was very little that was a higher priority than video games to me. I know it sounds really sad, but you know, when you're a kid, you're kind of an idiot. Because of my whacked out internal priority list though when I was a kid, is I actually missed out on a lot of cool things, and that's probably the thing I regret the most, is playing too many games and not doing enough fun stuff. Now yeah, it is what it is, but at least now I have the consciousness to realize, hey, don't be playing video games all the time and do some cool shit even if you don't feel like it, because 9 out of 10 times, you're gonna be so glad you did the thing. So anyways, before I draw this video way too long and I keep repeating myself and I don't want this video to be super long like my last few videos have been, I hope this gave you like a sense of comfort knowing that you are not the problem, but at the same time, you also are the problem. Okay, you know what I mean. You just gotta prioritize the right things in life, and the way that you are the problem is if you are prioritizing things that you know just aren't worth it, like scrolling on social media. I mean, come on. When is scrolling on social media ever a higher importance than like anything else? That should be on the very bottom. Sometimes to reprioritize your list properly, you gotta drop some bad habits to make time for the good things. You know, the things that matter, like hitting up an old friend and asking them how they're doing and getting a coffee together. This is a lot of effort, but it's so worth it. I've actually caught up with a lot of old friends recently, and every time I've always had a great time. And I'm hoping that when you reprioritize your internal list, the same thing happens to you and you get the benefits that I got to. So with everything said, drop a like and a sub. Bro, check out my cat. Brother, how are you doing? Ooh, look at those fingers.